Hey, how's everyone dealing with the current situation? This is Harris, and this is my live reaction to Picard et in Arcadia Ego Part 1. I actually watched it last night and I fell asleep straight after, hence my sorry I fell asleep comment in my description. It wasn't a comment on an episode, it was a comment on the fact that I fell asleep. So I'm a bit, well, my issue currently is that I fell asleep after watching it, so this isn't my immediate response to an episode because I've been asleep for about 14 hours, and well, sleep for about 9 hours, and then I was doing stuff between that time. So we'll try and remember as much as I can. So yeah, I think it's the penultimate episode of the season. I'm not actually checked, but I think Picard's only 10 episodes long, or whatever we're on now. And yeah, so we start off with what's actually pretty decent for Star Trek. Not too flashy for Star Trek fight scene in space fight scene, and then Borg cube comes through and crashes through, and then these weird plant things, and then yeah, they all kind of go up to the settlement, and they find a lot of androids, and then we have Brent Spiner, who is always amazing to see, playing a descendant of Sung, but one we've never actually, I don't think, heard of before. Apparently, Sung had a son who was, well, I'm actually trying to work out the ages. I mean, Brent Spiner, I think, is younger than Patrick Stewart, so, but I don't think Data's that old. I'm trying to work out who was made first. Like, did Sung have a son first, or did he create Data first? And like, was that not just weird growing up in that environment? I'm trying to work it out with like when this happens, because I don't know. I'm just trying to work out the timeline, because we know that the settlement that Sung was on was destroyed by that alien floaty thing. But I think Sung survived that. I think Sung had already left by then. But he left Data behind because Data was found in the aftermath of that. So did he take his son with him then? I'm just trying to work out exactly how much of this kind of worked out. It is interesting that then his son also decided to go into kind of the same kind of industry. But yeah, I guess I mean, I'm not complaining too much because I always love seeing Brent Spiner. It's just kind of trying to work out kind of the whole history of all this is, I think, is the weirdest thing. So yeah, we found the whole settlement. It's full of androids. They seem to be Sung type androids, but with kind of more advanced appearances and kind of human reputation. Sorry, I'm trying to remember the plot of the episode. Oh yeah, so I think we get some sort of confirmation on what the whole premonition of admonition was, but it's not entirely clear. I think the idea is that it's meant to just be, oh, it wasn't actually the Simps who destroyed the old civilization, it was the old civilization destroying themselves, trying to destroy the Simps. But that just then kind of, so it's kind of, I guess it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, because they misunderstood that. They're now attacking the Simps, so now the Simps are fighting back and kind of bringing the whole issue that they fought in the first place. Well, if they left each other alone, it would have been fine. Not much. I guess not really much happens really in this episode. Um, oh, I'm very tired for someone who slept 9 hours. Um, but I have a whole bunch of things to do, including starting a new vlog. So there's a whole lot going on. I guess what I think. Okay, I guess I'll use my ammunition early whilst I'm thinking of something else to say. It was weird that the android got killed by being stabbed through the eye, because that's not something that would kill Data. Like, Data's been decapitated and been fine. Like, it's established that unless you destroy Data entirely, he can be easily rebuilt and recovered. Whilst it just seemed stabbing the android through the eye was enough to kill her. It seems odd to me because think she'd have the same resilience unless they deliberately built her to die. But then surely that's like a deliberate, like, it has to be a programming thing. I mean, unless you deliberately design the systems inside to kind of irreparably damage themselves if what would be fatal to a human was to happen to an android. But like, why would you do that? I mean, I guess I know why, because trying to build simps are trying to replicate human life as much as possible. It just seems odd, really, that they do that. I get so. Cause I don't know, I can't tell if these are like Sung type androids or if these are meant to be more the fleshy type androids that what's her name, that Soji is, but just not as developed. I haven't really caught on to what that's meant to be, but it just seemed odd at that point. I don't know if anyone else has any kind of explanations on that. Yeah, the Romulan fleet is coming. I think it's spent most episode kind of, and then yeah. Sorry, I'm really out of it right now. So I probably won't draw it slightly longer than it needs to be. But yeah, there was the obvious kind of betrayal at the end where they're like, no, we're gonna basically rage war on everyone and gonna look you away, Picard. And that kind of happened. I think it's a lot of build up for the next episode, but I mean we are kind of getting more and more lore, more lore. Actually, when Brent Spiner appeared, I was actually somewhat convinced that it was just Law with a kind of repaint on his skin, and we're gonna get this cool thing where actually Law's a good person now. But no, it was just Sung Sun, which I guess also works. Because I love watching Ben Spiner. So yeah, I guess it's a lot of stuff for the next episode, really, more than anything else. But we do kind of get, I mean, all the kind of moving parts are kind of revealed to us, and really it's not that complicated. Basically, there's a faction of Romulans who hate Sith, I keep on saying Synths, who hate Synths. And so they're trying to track down this current kind of synth threat. I think I'm less sure what Bruce Maddox's plan was, but I think it was basically to basically out this essentially. And the synths are like, fine, we'll attack you first. That's basically it. So there's a long episode with not really much in it. I'm also curious to know why I was rated 15. Okay, on the topic of violence in Star Trek, look, I have no problem with violence in media, not at all. If used right, it's very, very effective as both world building and storytelling too. And in fact, world building is part of storytelling. Violence in Star Trek. Thing is, I think the more violence you put in Star Trek, sure, you're telling a grittier story and you're telling a more mature story, but you're also alienating people, especially younger people, especially if you're younger than the age rating and therefore aren't really meant to be watching it, whether you do or not is a different matter. And I think you can give mature messages to people and mature imagery without being graphic. So that's kind of my, like, I don't mind. Well, I don't know. I'm a bit squeamish personally, with gore on screen. That's a personal preference. I'm not gonna be something like, hey, you can't watch this because it's too violent. If people find, I understand why it's a thing. And if I make a film, I have no objections with being graphic in my own film. I think it's more me. And if I'm watching a film that's graphic, what I will do is I will kind of scrub ahead or try and read what's going to happen, and so watch it in like sort of scrub through the frames, and so I know what's coming, and then I'm fine with it, or I can just ignore it. I just don't like being surprised by it, and also when you're a slave to the angle of the camera, you can see something more graphic in real life. Like, I'm not squeamish about real life. I don't think I'm squeamish. I'm a St. John's medic, so I'm hoping I'm not that squeamish about real life blood and gore, because I'm potentially going to have to deal with it in real life. But the thing is, if you see someone with even a graphic head wound in real life, you can choose how you see that. You can choose the angles. You can choose how much you stare at it. You can choose how in depth you see it. And the thing is, even as a medic, I see the aftermath. I don't see the cause, and usually the cause is more graphic than the aftermath, if that makes sense. Whilst if you're watching a screen, you have to see what they show you, and sometimes those are things I'm too squeamish to watch. Personally, again, nothing to do with anyone else. If you're fine with it, you're fine with it. So for me, when that is like the graphics in Picard so far, like okay, so the graphics with Ichep, I get why we did that because Ichep is a character who is established in Star Trek, and whether you like him or not, he has that kind of familiarity. When you graphically, Jesus, my iPad just updated a whole bunch of notifications in one go. Wow. Okay, sorry, that was distracting. I get why Ichip's death probably had to be graphic because they needed to hit you strong and fast. But that's why they killed Ichip, not some person we didn't see, not an unknown XP. It was XP we knew, and it was XP we knew being killed violently, and that helps because that's important for us to understand what Seven's actions were afterwards. I guess all the violence we're seeing in Picard is justified. Like, we need to see kind of how the Romulans maul themselves to death because we need to appreciate how traumatic their memory was. But then also, you could probably do this creatively in a different way. And if you did that, then you make it more accessible to more people to be able to absorb the messages of Star Trek. This is more thing. Picard's messages, I don't think haven't been made that apparent to me yet, but Discovery does clearly have some messages to give, but Discovery equally has that kind of violent moments, and that balance kind of creates that barrier. And I don't know if Star Trek really. That's why I don't want a Quentin Tarantino Star Trek, because that's not what Star Trek is about. It's not that it's not me gatekeeping Star Trek. It's about Star Trek Star Trek's about social messages, and social messages need to be accessible. Really, that's kind of my thing about kind of balance of Picard. But I was curious because I was like, oh, what? Because all the other 15-episode of Star Trek have had violent things. You had Ichep's violent death. You had the Romulans killing themselves. You had the thing where I think the graphicness in the last episode was more kind of Angie's kind of vomiting a lot thing. Actually, that was episode beforehand, but I watched them both as back to back, so it's a bit confusing for me time wise. Not sure what was really violent here. I mean, the eye piercing that was more of a 12. That was clearly I wouldn't say it was 15. Just something I've been pondering about. But yeah, we'll see how the next and probably final episode goes, and then we'll see. It's also interesting because Picard's very much embodying a sense of mortality at the moment. People have been speculating that really the best place for Picard to end is with Picard's death. But there's also been season 2 confirmation. So either he's going to die, but it's not going to be yet. He's going to die. There's going to be some sci-fi reason for him to come back. Hopefully not, because that doesn't seem to be fitting for the theme of the show. Or he dies in the second season of Star Trek Picard is actually Star Trek 7 of 9, because they'll be talking about giving him a spin-off. Well, a spin-off is actually a sequel series. Interesting. Alright, well, I'm going to end there because I have a whole bunch of things to do. And not much time to do them in. So I'll see you guys when I see you. Thanks for watching.